Yes, yes, yes. We are live. What's going on? It's Michael Yo. Hope all is well. Hang on one second. Let me tap this in right here. Hope all is going well, man. I'm excited. Today, we're going to talk about all the madness with the Miami Hurricanes, all the pickups. Got my man Gio Million that's going to be on. So, like I said, we are live. Leave your comments if you want to in the comment section. We'll make it happen. Which way do I want to go with this? Yeah, let's go over here. All right. So, also make sure you like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. It helps out the station. I really appreciate you guys being a part of this. Like I said, we got Gio Million checking in right now. I want to start with this. How excited are you about the Notre Dame game already? Man, I am telling you, there's this energy I got right now that I love, man. I'm so excited. And all you Miami Hurricane fans that are going to watch this podcast or watching this podcast, you know what I'm talking about. Because there's a lot of noise being talked right now. A lot of noise about the Miami Hurricanes, and I like that, man. I love that. I love that so many people, we live in rent-free in so many people's, like mine right now. Like that Joel Klatt dude. I know Joel Klatt. I think he went to Florida State. Miami knocked him out of the game. And he no matter what he says, I can't really take seriously. You know? He dogs Miami any chance he gets. That's how you get clicks. That's how you get ratings. Mr. Cannon, 7248. Notre Dame, Miami by 2 TDs, man. I don't care if it's by a point. I just want to beat Notre Dame. I want to beat Notre Dame bad and show everybody. Because honestly, I think I just feel great this year. And like I said, Gio Million's going to be on. We're going to talk about all the pickups. He has some breaking news, and I just feel good. I feel good about the pickups we're getting. We missed out. I believe his name is Johnson, last name Johnson. We missed out on Johnson. He went to Georgia. But I didn't mind that. You know my take. If you listen to this show, you know my take. If you don't want to play for Miami, we don't need you here. Like, that's the thing. Like, we'll play the game. We'll get in the bid. But if you want to go to, man, nothing but love and respect, go to Georgia, have a great career. I mean, now I feel like we're going to play the game. We're going to pay the money just like everybody else. But I feel like Mario is building something where we don't need – if you don't want to be here, you don't need to be here. You know what I mean? That's the last thing you want is pay a dude a lot of money, and then he don't want to be here, What's up, Josh? Let's go. Are you ready? Are you ready, Joshua, for the Notre Dame game? I'm so stoked. I'm so stoked, man. Oh, Klatt went to Colorado? Well, I just don't like him. Klatt got that Florida State type of energy. He got that Florida State type of energy, man. Oh, and like I said, Gio Million clicking on right now. We'll be on with him. I will be at the game too. Mr. Cannon, I will be at the game. Actually, speaking about the game, August 29th, I have a show. I have 2 shows at the Davie Improv, which I'm excited about. So that got me down there. I'm going to spend a couple days in South Florida. And then Notre Dame, man, look, if you throw in a tailgate that night, I want to be a part of it. I'm stopping by all the tailgates. I'm going to be taping everything. And then, man, see, I wasn't there in 2017 when Miami just rolled Notre Dame. But the clips, the energy, I remember, I believe it's Bandy when he intercepted that ball and ran it in, and the place went nuts. And Herb Street was like, I've never heard any place that loud. It's like, that's Miami, baby. That's Miami. I can't wait. Gio, just give me a thumbs up when you're ready, Gio. Let me know when you're ready, and we'll make it happen. I'll bring you in. Oh, by the way, Gio, I know you're off camera right now. We're live. So we're live, just so you know. Just give me a thumbs up when you're ready. But yeah, man, I'm already starting to feel like I love college football. I hate right now what's going on. We don't have any sports going on. I'm just kind of chilling at home, just waiting for Miami. But like I said, we got a lot of what's this? You can see Joel Klatt get laid out when he played Miami. He still Yeah, we hate Joel Klatt. I can't say we hate him. He's always negative about Miami, pretty negative. I think once, finally when Cam Ward was like, hey, what's up, Gio?
Hey, what's up, Mike? Sorry, it had delayed.
I can't hear you. Is that me or you? Hang on one second. Hang on. This is live, so let me see. It might be me. Hang on one second. Audio, speaker. No, my speaker's working, Gio.
You can hear me?
I got you now. Yes, sir.
Perfect. All right.
Man, it is good to have you on the show. I was just talking before you got here. I was like, I'm already excited for Notre Dame. Like, I'm starting to feel it. I think we're like 2 months out. I'm starting to feel good. You see in all the articles. And how are you feeling right now about Miami?
Well, like I've said before, Carson Beck is 24-3 all time in his collegiate career. Notre Dame will be starting a quarterback that will be basically his first ever start at the college football level. I can't envision a world that Carson Beck loses a matchup like that. But again, you have the defenses that have to play things out and whatnot. But I like Miami's chances with Carson Beck at the helm going into that game, just off the experience factor compared to CJ Carr.
No, I do too, and I'm very excited about the game. Now, Gio Million, you know him from every platform. He's on this show. He's on Locked on Canes. He's everywhere. He has his own. What is it? What's that? What's it called? The
Discord.
I don't do Discord that much, but Discord, it's phenomenal. So make sure you check him out. How can people find you on Discord? Because I want to start with the goods for you.
Yeah. So if anyone's on X or even on YouTube, you can find it on the YouTube page at Who Wants Smoke _Inc. on YouTube, which is weekly show. Me and Amon Richards host on the Miami Hurricanes. Or you can also find it on my X account at Gio Million, GeoMillian.
All right, let's get it on, Gio. Let's talk about recruiting. I'm gonna throw out some names, and I know we just signed them. They're coming to the U, but tell me a little bit about them. We'll start with Israel Briggs.
Yep, 6'5" tight end, a little over 200 pounds right now. They view him as a flex tight end. I know some people out there have thrown comparisons. They're like, oh, maybe he could be like David Njoku. I think he's more Will Mallory than David Njoku. I think there's a little bit of a deceptive speed there. What I mean, but just long speed, getting upfield, that type of thing. I will say, though, obviously, he has to put on weight, some size. But tight end room, for the most part, they have quite some guys in that room. So even if he needs a year or two to get up to speed in terms of the strength and conditioning, I think he'll be fine.
And that's the scary thing about these kids. You don't know how or if they will fill out, because we had a tight end a couple years ago that went to Bishop, and I know he kind of, parted ways with Miami. Moss, I think his name was Moss.
Yeah, that was the defensive end, and then the other tight end was Jaleel Skinner.
Yeah, and they just couldn't gain the weight, man, and that's kind of a bummer because you can see they had a lot of potential. You just need to be able to gain the weight, and I guess that's kind of hard to predict.
Yeah, it all depends on genetics, body type, the nutrition as well. Some guys, they don't gain weight. Like, I know people constantly make comments about Markeith Williams in Miami's football program. The reality is some guys are just like that. They hardly put on weight. It's not like they're doing anything wrong, but it's just based on genetics too.
And have you heard anything about the offseason workouts? I know that's pretty low key and players are just doing their things, but have you heard any players popping, anything standing out, any defensive players popping?
I've heard a lot of good feedback on Mohamed Toure
nice.
coming out of the workouts and just everything, all the preparation going into fall camp. They expect him to be a leader of this team. CJ Daniels has a lot of the younger wide receivers following him by example. Josiah Trader, he's healthy now. Everyone's hoping he carries the buzz that he had in spring into fall. And Malachi Toney, I think they're going to have a hard time keeping him off the field. That barring any injury unforeseen, I think if he's not starting game one, he's going to start at some point this season.
Do you think they would go to him? Because look, you got Notre Dame first, and then you got a couple 2 games where they could get him in, and Florida is after that, then Florida State. Do you think this Malachi Tony is a player where they throw in the Notre Dame game, or are they just going to run with the experience? That you think any freshman will break in, and I'm talking about significant snaps, not just like 1 or 2. You know what I mean?
I think you could see Malachi Tony getting some snaps in that Notre Dame game. He made a strong case for that in the spring. He's carrying things throughout the offseason workouts and preparation. You obviously hope he doesn't hit that freshman wall before the season starts. Some freshmen, they flash early on, they kind of hit the wall, and then it takes them a little bit of time to really get going. We'll see how it holds through fall camp, but if I had to say, like observation-wise, what I saw off the spring and what I've been told coming out of the offseason program, he should play. I don't know about start game one. We'll see. That's still up in the air. There's going to be a competition there. Him, Tony Johnson, Ray Joseph, all those guys will compete there in the slot, but Malachi Tony will play. And on defense, I would say, on defense, I would.
Gio, you there? You cut out. Gio?
I would hear me?
Wait, are you there now?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, we cool now. Yeah. Go for it.
Yeah, had I cut out for a second? Sorry about that. I could see a guy like Hayden Lowe or Dante Simpson on the defensive side getting some snaps early on in the season. I know there's a lot of people in the building that are really excited about Chris Ewald and his future. He had a lot of buzz in spring. I know Miami has a ton of DBs, but even if it's not a bunch of snaps on defense this year, I think he's a guy who could maybe open up some eyes on special teams, him and Amari Wallace.
Nice. Now, if you're watching this is live. We are absolutely live. Gio Million is on with me. If you got any questions, you want to drop some comments, definitely do that. Let's see. Malachi may get some passing trick plays because he can throw. Oh yeah, he that's right. He played quarterback. He had to fill in for the quarterback too.
Yeah, Malachi has some history with that, playing some quarterback in Little League as well. He stepped in for Diabel last year in the playoffs, late in December, when Diabel had a leg injury. Malachi came in for a few games and led his team to a state title. He actually won the state title over Darion Coleman.
Yeah, that's right. And that dude, by the way, Darion Coleman I've been seeing clips of him everywhere at the 7-on-7 camps, just killing it, destroying it. Good for
Isn't
him.
it strange how his throwing motion is so similar to Cam? It's weird.
So fast.
Yeah.
So fast.
That release.
Before we get into the other recruits we signed, I wanted to ask you about this first. Derrick Cooper. I see the boards. Everybody's like, we can't lose this guy. And my opinion on recruits that want to leave. If you don't want to play for Miami, I don't feel like it's a loss. I just feel like, well, then it's not the right player for Miami. As long as we do everything we can do to get a player, the last thing you want is a player to take a bunch of money that doesn't want to be at your school, right?
Yeah.
But Derrick Cooper, I understand we got to keep players in Florida, but it's a different world now. You know what I mean? Yeah, we wanted Jeremiah Smith, but he went to Ohio State, killed it, and there it is. Derrick Cooper, though, where are we on him?
Miami's very much in the hunt there. Georgia as well. I'd say Texas is a little bit of a sleeper school too. Ohio State's kind of fading in that recruitment as well. So those are the main contenders there. Florida State also somewhat in the mix there too, but mainly coming down between Miami and Georgia down the stretch. I've said this before when people were talking about the Jay Lamar situation. I've been saying this for months now too. Yep. I felt that Miami would split hairs with Georgia on the running backs. And what I mean by that is you'd see Derrick Cooper to Miami and Jay Lamar to Georgia. I still anticipate that to hold true. I know everyone's talking about him saying, I'm no longer going to make a commitment on July 12th. We'll see if he moves that up. We'll see if he moves that later. I know Miami feels good about the work that they put in on his visit. I know there's been a little bit of discourse out there from other rival teams saying that, oh, the family saying that he wants to get out of state, doesn't want to stay there or whatever. That's not entirely true because his mother has visited the campus and the coaches by herself on multiple occasions without Derrick himself. So there's good, strong ties and relationships there. I think it's just a battle down to the end, though, regardless. Georgia's going to make Miami sweat it out. I do think Miami ends up landing him, though.
And this is going all the way to the end, right?
Yeah. It's up until decision day. Nothing will be set in stone just yet. I know people freaked out over one crystal ball, but I want to remind people, just like the news today of Zachary Turner, like Miami was in a great position with him for well over a month, almost 2 months now. And local school and SMU making a late push now. Just as a crystal ball can flip from Miami to another school, it could flip from another school to Miami.
Yeah.
It's not just exclusive to just the Hurricanes taking some losses.
What makes Derrick Cooper so special?
I'd say the athleticism. About almost 6'1", over 200 pounds. He's about 205, closing in on 210. Ran a verified 4.50 40-yard dash. Sports, I believe it's a 10.6 or 10.7 in the 100-meter as well. So phenomenal athlete, can play both sides of the ball. I think he's a great running back, but I think he could be a special linebacker if he wanted to play defense, but he wants to play offense on the next level, and I understand.
I was watching an interview with him. I forgot what website he was on, but when they mentioned Ohio State, he did basically said the same thing about all the schools, like, oh, I'm just getting to know the coaches. This coach is great. And he just went through but I love when the guy asked him, does Ohio State championship mean anything? He goes, nah, it means nothing to me. And that just was funny to me because it really, if you're a player coming in, you want championships. But if they won, like, that shouldn't make a decision for you. That shouldn't be a factor. It's cool that they won a championship as long as the team's good. It's more, one thing I respected, he said it's more about development to me than championships. I need to be developed. And I thought that was a very smart answer.
I agree with him on that aspect. And I think a lot of it has to do with fit too. What offensive line you're going to be playing behind? What are the metrics for the running backs in that offensive system? Miami was number 2 in run efficiency last year. Obviously, they threw the ball more last year. This year, you'll probably see it a little more balanced, a little more leaning on the run. Miami goes by a committee as well. I know a lot of these guys now, they want to get into those committee type of situations rather than being the full-on bell cow and getting tread on your tires and taking a couple years off your potentially NFL career. Guys want to get to that second contract as a running back in the league too. So I totally understand what he's saying.
Now, we got 2 signees. Which one are you more excited about? Tyron Evans from South Carolina or Vance Spafford from Madison, Mississippi?
That's tough. I would say I'm more excited about Vance Spafford. Reason being so is I know many people automatically peg him as, oh, that's a slot guy. He could actually play Z receiver, and that's the way Miami views him too, that he could play the Z and he could play the slot. He'll likely play both at Miami. 4.35 verified 40-yard.
Yep.
10.6 in the 100-meter. He's about 5'11", almost 6 foot, 175, 180 pounds. I think he's, about 180 now.
Yeah.
The production is sky high as well. You're talking about 36 touchdowns over his last 2 seasons. And every time he goes to these camps and the 7-on-7s as well, absolutely crushes the competition. And I don't want to make it a race thing.
And he's white. He's white. And not only that, he's one of the top 10 ranked receivers in the country. He's a white guy, and he has elite athleticism. So he's already trumping all the doubts already that people will have. He's the usual blue collar guy, hard worker. You know where I'm getting at, Mike. Yeah. What I love is they said about his speed, of course, is straight ahead, but this dude is quick. Like it's
Yes.
not just straight speed. This is like
I believe it
quickness.
is a 4-1 or 4-2 in the shuttle, so he can get side to side. Yeah,
but we are excited about Tyran Evans. Tell me about him.
I think he profiles very similar to Isaiah Horton coming out of high school. Maybe even a little more productive than Isaiah Horton was coming out of the Tennessee area. Reason why is Isaiah Horton played in a run-heavy offense coming out of high school. Now with Tyran Evans, some people have questions about like the competition level. I want to remind people that one of Miami's top targets at cornerback, Samari Matthews, plays at the very same high school. So I know people get fixated on the competition thing, and I get it. But Tyran Evans has also shown up at 7-on-7 events and camps and actually performed. It's about 6'3", 201 pounds. I will say this. The biggest thing that stands out, 27.2 yards per catch last year as a junior. And he's only been playing receiver for about a year and a half now. Miami internally, though, they view him very highly. Like, people had questions about Joshua Moore even last year because he played at a smaller school here in Broward County at West Broward. Miami views Tyran Evans very similar to that mold, like a Joshua Moore. They want to continue getting bigger in the room and more explosive. So they're really high on Tyran Evans.
About Van Spafford, one comment said he got some black in them jeans from a couple of generations ago. That's hilarious.
I don't know if they'll use the usual taglines for Caucasian wide receivers anymore when it comes to Spafford, because the usual things you hear is he's a hard worker, he's a blue collar guy, he does the little things right.
His family is great. He's from a great family. Tyran Evans, one thing about him, is this the dude that in high school, at least his junior, 1 out of every 3 catches went for a touchdown?
Pretty much.
I think it's something like that, right?
He had about 30-something catches last year and about
14 touchdowns.
900 yards, 14 touchdowns.
Yeah. Good for him, man. I'm excited about him. Wait, we got a question for Blue Green Street. We are live, by the way. If you want to leave your comment, hit us up. Thank you for watching this. Thank you. Like, subscribe, and do all that fun stuff. Gio Million is on. Who do you think will be our next commit?
Well, that one's a tough one, especially with things trending away with Zachary Turner right now. I know Miami's still going to try to continue working through that. I know people have concerns about like the Devin Jackson situation as well, and a lot of the Oregon buzz. I've been mentioning for months now that, you know, Miami and Oregon battling back and forth there. Tough to say too, because Derrick Cooper, it's kind of up in the air what he's going to do. Like, is he going to move it up, or is he going to move it later into the summer before his senior year? We'll see.
Let me ask you this. You mentioned Derrick Cooper. Moving it up or moving it back, does one help Miami, you feel, in the case if he moves it up? Does it help Miami if he pushes it?
I don't think it helps or hurts Miami in any way with Cooper. He's seen Miami so many times now that he already has the general idea of what it is, what the package is for him there, and just what things will be like over the next 3 to 4 years if he chose Miami, compared to the other schools involved. This is really tough because, like, there was some expectation that Brett Koloje would possibly make a commitment soon, and that's still up in the air. There hasn't been a date set, so we'll see.
If he does commit, we can just go out and say this is the best offensive line class Miami's ever had, like recruiting-wise.
Yes.
Or is it already?
I wouldn't say just yet. I think it's right about there, but
okay.
Yeah. At least how they view Koloje internally, though, they think he's one of the best offensive guards in the country. And some people in the building actually think he could play right away. So,
wow.
It's a great bonus right there, too, because sometimes you bring in some linemen, they may need a year, 2 years. Some guys need 3 years. So
pancake.
Yeah. So that defensive wise, though, this is very tough, especially with the Turner stuff going on and Cooper with his decision date up in the air. Brody Jennings,
okay,
love Miami for him. I think that's one that they can get done as long as nothing unforeseen happens between now and the next few weeks. But that's looking like late July. We'll see maybe if he moves up that date too. Me personally, I get the sense that, like, I know people are concerned because of some recent events over the last 2 or 3 days, some crystal balls, Miami missing out on James Johnson, his comments about wanting to play in the SEC and whatnot. I get it. People are upset. I get the sense that a surprise could be coming, maybe something that people are not really anticipating.
Now, is this a big surprise? Like a player will be like,
I think it would be a big surprise, like a top 50 prospect. This is just me editorializing here, just my thought process on it. Just, I don't see Miami just striking out on everyone and just no good buzz going into July. I think they'll shake one or two situations.
Okay. Let's talk about Ashari Charles.
Love him. Great athlete. Actually, profile is very similar to Malik Bryant as well. Highly instinctual player too. May need a year to kind of get like the weight right. Like, still has to put on some weight, but will likely fit in as a stand-up rusher at the next level for Miami. Had over 14 sacks last year. I think 20-something tackles for loss. Super productive guy. He's been playing for a great program with Venice as well.
Nice. And we'll wrap up with Anthony Kennedy. What's your take on him?
Massive human being. You're talking 3.5, 6'4", 330 pounds. Miami wants to get his weight down a little bit. I think they'll be able to do it. They want him to play about like 310, 315 at the next level. I think that's very doable. We'll say, though, some people have questions like, why wasn't his recruitment bigger or whatnot and everything? I tried to find out a little more background on that. Couldn't really get anything. I know Arkansas had a lot of interest at one point and they kind of backed away, but Missouri loved him. He was actually committed in the recruiting class at one point, and then he decommitted from them. So I think it's a good get for Miami. I think it's something Miami needs in their defensive tackle room because they have a lot of 3 technique types, but not that many guys that could play like a nose tackle type. Run stuffers can take on multiple blockers. Those are things that you need up in the middle of your defense to create holes and gaps for your linebackers to shoot through. So I think Anthony Kennedy fits the mold of that body type. Some development will have to happen there, but I think it's a nice start.
Do you think we missed out on Jason Lopez? Because I mean, like any receiver, when you look at who Miami already has there, what's coming in, you're like, yo, man, they're stacked. I'm going to take it to another school. Or was there something about Florida State that just stood out to him more than Miami?
Well, I think Florida State was just more consistent with him, too. This is what gets lost in the translation of that recruitment. There was a time where Miami was prioritizing Braden Robinson over Jason Lopez. Like, people don't realize that. Then even now, Miami's not recruiting Braden Robinson that hard anymore because of Vance Spafford coming into the fold. Like, ever since Vance Spafford took that visit in the middle of April, because Miami wasn't even in the picture. Took that visit. Like, his family was even questioning, like, why you want to visit Miami? Like, and he was doing his research, looking up on the offense and everything, and they sold him on it. I think with Lopez, it's a mixture of that, this little bit of hot and cold with Miami throughout this. And I think just Florida State has been more consistent with him. And I could see the scenario like where some people have suggested that, Spafford going into the class, maybe Lopez views it as a situation like, okay, how much am I going to play here, or whatever the situation may be. No, but I got a comment for that though. If a kid is looking into that, no thanks.
No, because they're scared of competition. That's what I'm saying. All right. So any nuggets you got before you leave, Gio? Because I know sometimes you got nuggets here and there. So anything that I know you gave us something that maybe a surprise is coming, just you editorializing, possibly, maybe, we'll see. But anything else?
I think one situation to monitor, because this guy was basically a shoe-in for Georgia's class, I would say about 3 weeks ago, a month ago, and Tyreek Green, a 4-star safety out of the state of Georgia, plays at Buford High School, same high school as Bryce Perry, right? Who Miami's still battling there with Clemson and Texas A&M. We'll see how that shakes out on July 4th. But Tyreek Green will make a decision on July the 12th, if I recall correctly. I'd keep a closer eye on Miami down the stretch in that recruitment, because Georgia has about 3 safeties in their class right now. They landed a surprise guy in Chase Calicut from Texas over Texas. Texas thought that guy was a lock for their class, and Georgia just snuck in and snatched him. Things are kind of up in the air now if Georgia is still going to press on for Green because of the amount of defensive backs they have. Green's a phenomenal athlete, great track guy too, top 150 recruit as well. I think Miami fans would be really happy with that. So again, things continue to progress over time. Things change and whatnot. But I think Miami's one to watch more closely there. And I don't think it's a done deal that Green goes to Georgia now, that Miami could end up being the landing spot for him.
Nice. All right, Gio, mention your handles, tell people where to find you and all that good stuff.
Yeah, everyone can find me on X at Gio Million. You could also find in the link in the bio on my X account to the private Discord. We have over 1,000 people in there. Hundreds of people are subscribed to the premium portion of the board. They love the content that goes in there. I just dropped a big update. I think it was on Saturday or Sunday, one of those days. People enjoy that as well. Just constant updates in there. Little nuggets and intel. I even heads up when commitments are coming too, sometimes even before the bat signal's out. So people really enjoy that.
So let me ask you this, Gio, about that. People putting out crystal balls. What is that based off of? Is that just a contact with the family they have? Maybe they talk to a head coach? Because it seems like everybody starts dropping them at the same time. Do some people just drop them because they see other people drop them just so they can drop one?
Sometimes it's the kid telling a publication themselves.
Oh, okay.
I've had that happen where a kid has told me that he's going to head there. And crazy thing is there's been some instances in the past where a kid mentions that he's going to commit to Miami or another school, and then it goes south. Like he goes to an entirely different school, or
Jeremiah Smith,
or the school decides to stop recruiting that player too. It's happened as well. That's one of them. Number 2 is a coach from said program leaked information to that publication, especially national publications. That happens quite a bit. Things get shared and passed around and whatnot, and that's how it kind of gets out. And number 3, sometimes family as well.
Yeah, because I would imagine, and I'm not calling out any family, but I would imagine there's some money in that too. I don't know, like leaking information to the right publication, especially if it's a big enough recruit. Could be some money on that side too. I mean, let's not pretend like it's not. So, you know what I mean? All right, Gio, thank you so much, man. Really appreciate you. And we'll talk because I want to know about the podcast thing, but we'll talk about that off air, offline. So you guys subscribe, like Blue Green Street says, hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Later.
Go Canes.
Go Canes.